What would you say is like one of your pet peeves about your spouse?
Wow. Probably when we're driving, she likes to tell me how to drive. Yeah. Yeah. She's a good side seat driver.
Oh, goodness.
And what would you say is one of your pet
And he
peeves?
can't drive?
My name is Amanda Burgos.
Hey, my name is Louis Burgos.
My name is Natalia Williams.
My name is Thomas Williams.
My name is Vanessa Adams.
I'm Dexter Adams.
Was it love at first sight?
Feels like at first sight.
Yeah, that's a good
I
answer.
knew something was different about Thomas, but I was still very guarded at the time about things. But he had a sweet, calm spirit about him, and he was fairly easy to talk to, and I admired that about him. So.
Yeah. Pretty much right.
Initially, it was not love at first sight, but it took about 3 years, and that's when I realized he was the love of my life.
So we're gonna start on the questions. So whoever wants to go first, pick one.
Okay. All right. How often do I say I love you, and is it enough?
You say I love you all the time.
All the times that.
Yes, you always say it.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you say I love you a couple times a day. That's good. That's good.
It is enough. You tell me you love me every single day, multiple times a day. Every time we get off the phone, even if it's an argument, it's always I love you. And before I go to work, when I come back, anytime, it's always gonna be I love you multiple times a day. And I love that about us.
Same. I think you say it enough, and I do think you say it enough times. The joke is always when we say I love you to each other, like, okay, what do you want now? What did you do now?
Oops.
But even if you say it every day, every minute of the day, it's never enough to say I love you. Everybody loves to hear those 3 words.
My turn?
I think so.
My turn. What is one thing your spouse does well when it comes to communicating with you? Compliment me, please.
Well, there's so many. Well, there really are so many. I think you have really good timing. I think that you're also like not that guy that just like doesn't get it. Like you come at me very thoughtfully, and like I like the way that you've always come at me. Like you just don't say something dumb. You do it in a way that you think I'll take it the best, and I really appreciate that.
I think you say what you need to say. Yeah, you talk. That's you do that well.
Yes.
You're not going to beat around the bush. You're going to let me know, it's A, B, and C, and that's it. I don't have to kind of play guessing games unless you're shut down. Yep.
You'll text too. You're good at texting me information.
Mm-hmm.
But you also, I think, when you're more alert, especially in the morning when you're more alert, I think you communicate pretty good. Because at nighttime, nothing's getting in. I'm done.
Yeah.
At night.
Morning, I'm good.
Your turn.
All right. How well did your parents communicate, and what traits are you bringing into this relationship? Oh boy. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't.
Both our parents are still married. They have very different relationships, very different marriages. I think I learned more from his parents about communication than mine. I think my parents, they got saved later in life before they had kids, but they went through a lot before that, and so God's still doing a work in them, so I realized that. But the way they speak to each other, or a lack of speaking, or things like that, I think I learned what not to do, and also trying to retrain the way I come at things and like my instincts and things like that. But like I love like your parents never say the D word, the divorce word. My parents use that word frequently.
Yeah, I think my parents, they had intense negotiations a lot, and I seen those. I seen those. It was, you know.
Yeah, and for a large portion of our marriage, that was a big thing that we struggled with, the differences.
Yeah.
You know, in my home, if someone was yelling, someone must have been going to the hospital. You know, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So her, she didn't know she was, you know, that's the way she grew up.
Yeah.
And so that was something that it took. I was like, why are you yelling? I'm not
yelling.
Yeah, and that was a big thing for us.
I'm right here. I'm not yelling.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're
you
sitting
are.
at the same table.
We're saying, I'm just really passionate about what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not yelling.
My parents, they always talked about major, purchases. You know, they always came together to discuss any major decisions that's being made in the household. So, and that's what we do a lot too. We don't, we just don't randomly go out and say, oh, honey, guess what I did today? I bought a car. So, they, any decisions with the kids and any decisions with the household, they always talked and discussed it, and that's something I think from what we saw from them that we carried out in our relationship.
Okay.
Do you believe our marriage comes before our kids? Why or why not?
I think it does. I think that's something we have to practice every day, keep ourselves in check, make sure that, we love Jesus first, then comes us, and then our kids, and it flows out of that.
I think we talk about it because it's easy to just like do everything about the kids and not take time for each other.
In the beginning, I can honestly say I put our children before our marriage. My mindset was they need me. They need me more than my husband, who's a grown adult. I had to learn, and I learned that through parenting classes that our church in New Jersey that we went to had, as well as couple retreats that we went to that we learned the proper order of the marriage. And so now, as we said, nothing comes before us other than God. God, then us, then everybody else follows suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with the quality of our intimate conversations between us? I think so. I think so. I mean, you and I have always been able to talk on that level from day one very, very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've always been able to do that very, very well that I can think of, unless we're tired.
I think you could always get better.
Like actual just one-on-one talks kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy them. I like them. I like how they're not so shallow, but I think it can always,
I think we're pretty good at communicating. I think we've always been really good at communicating. I think we're just getting better at,
like
we're gonna get better about doing it more often, just because with the kids and stuff, you're just like, okay, I'm too tired to even talk. But I think we should have more one-on-one time.
Definitely.
Who always wins the argument? That's a difficult question because neither one of us actually ever kept count of who won the argument.
Wow. Who always wins the argument? Nobody.
The beginning of our marriage, we were the person who it was always seemed like the one who would say, I'm sorry, because that's the hardest thing for people to say is, I'm sorry. So I guess in the beginning of our marriage, it was more whoever said, I'm sorry first, and that was just kind of to win the argument. And a lot of times you would just say, okay, I'm sorry, just to wrap it up and just move on. So
We've always been the type that, we would keep it going.
Oh, yeah.
We'd keep it going.
That's been
I think in the
the-
last year, we've been better about
We just got tired.
Giving
That's
each
all.
other
We get
space,
tired.
'cause we would leave for-
You get tired. You know, you're not 26 anymore. 40. You get tired. So we just.
Yeah.
But we try to get it resolved.
Yeah, we keep it going, man. 9 rounds.
No, that sounds so bad.
I say, who always wins the argument? Quite honestly, the person sleeping on the couch. Okay, he's definitely not the winner, guys. He's not the winner.
How do you keep communication alive in our busy lifestyle?
I mean, should probably give you time, but as soon as you get home, we talk about everything I did that day. We just make sure we're always open to hearing each other, but also constant communication.
I think we do really well with, even though we both have busy, active schedules with what we do, I think we do really well at trying to stay in communication, but I think maybe we could try to set like aside a specific time maybe where we check in a little bit more and communicate through the day, because I know you get busy.
I get busy during the day.
And I get busy with
Yeah.
clients and such, but I think we do a good job, but we could probably do better
Yeah,
with that.
I agree with that.
What do you think is your biggest struggle when it comes to communicating with your spouse? We don't have this. That I'd say this is not one that we experience.
Biggest struggle?
We think yeah.
My biggest struggle, I just wish I could find the words faster.
I think sometimes it's easy to jump to conclusions when you don't have enough information, or you begin to internalize something and you react based on what you think they're
Yeah,
saying,
because
and that's
of
not really
history.
what they're saying.
Because of history, and
Yes.
being able to forgive and move forward.
Right.
And that's been the issue before. And I think in true forgiveness, I'm not looking at you the way we used to look at each other, and being able to talk and feel safe because I am safe. To be able to
Right.
say what I need to say.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, we don't have this problem, so sorry. But yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have
And
that struggle.
does that come with age?
I think it does.
I think it does, yeah, because I think, again, that also comes with that not speaking off the cuff. Because I know a lot of people speak out of emotion. They'll just say what comes up, and I will, and I am that kind of person. I will say what comes up comes out sometimes, but I realize that with her, I have to temper that. And again, because because again, this is my heart, so I'm trying not to hurt my heart. So I don't want to say anything that's going to hurt her. So.
What is the one topic that you have the most difficulty communicating with your spouse? Probably money.
Yeah.
Probably money.
Sex was like a hard one to talk about.
It was just because, like, it's something that you work at, and it's like not something you talked about before because we weren't like doing it before. So it's like, I don't know, how do you put things into words, or like what you think your needs are, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think,
It is more awkward at the beginning,
yeah.
especially when you do wait to marriage.
What is the one topic that you have the most difficulty communicating with your spouse? Wow. Well, okay. I've had some experience with this. All right. My feelings. What my fears are. Different things that as a man, how we were taught to be. It was most difficult for me to share with her my heart, what I was feeling. It was difficult for me to let her see me cry. I had to learn that was a part that she needed to see of me to know who I was, that there's an emotional side to me as well.
I think for me, it was tough because like, I viewed it wrong, and I viewed it as like, as a no-no, And so once I did get married, it was hard to turn that switch off of like, sex is bad, because it's not. It's great with your spouse, but like, it was
They were
just,
getting
it was hard that I had to make that switch of like, you know.
It's not been okay, and now it's okay.
Yeah,
Why- like-
it took me a bit, and it took a lot of prayer to ask God to help me with that area, which is like probably a weird thing to pray to God about, but you know.
But that was definitely our hardest point.
Yeah.
Probably was that topic.
Yeah, when we first got married, yeah.
That didn't come right off the bat, so I can honestly say that it took some time for me to learn how to communicate that to her, who I was, you know, things that, you know, that concerned me or that bothered me, and trust her with that. That we had to learn how. I think we had to learn that with that was just, if I trust you with this, this is not something that you can use against me. It was you know, you got amnesty for expressing whatever it was, you know, whatever thought or whatever feelings, whatever bothered you, whatever it wasn't for your spouse to turn around and use that against you. So, and getting that trust, and then once you obtain that trust, you know, with your spouse, then it became more freely for me to at least start releasing some of the other things that I started feeling, and then started sharing with her. This is the way I am because this is the way I was brought up. You know, this is how, you know, we were taught as men how to be. We were given this persona of not letting our wives see what's in our heart. You know, see the exterior. So and that was learned behavior that, you know, over time.
So last question. What advice would you give to a couple who's in the same, like, I've been as married as long as you guys has been?
I think the advice I would give, that guy should, the guy of the relationship should always pursue their spouse, keep on dating her. Didn't stop after she said I do, but keep on dating her, keep on flirting with her, always. And then the second thing is to protect your marriage. Like, the analogy I always think of is like, treat it like it's an egg, like if it's fragile, protect it. Don't put yourself in situations that can harm it. And then make sure that it's strong enough so if something does happen, that is not gonna break. So that's the advice I would give.
Yes, your own personal relationship with the Lord is key. Eating the scroll, not just reading it, eating it, asking the Holy Spirit to give you revelation as you read it, give you understanding, and seal it in you. Because it's we have the Holy Spirit, and God's given us the ability. Because you think about the fruitages of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, all that good stuff, it's already available to us now.
Yeah.
He's given us the ability to do it and live it out in our marriage. Have we, I'll speak for myself, I haven't done it perfectly. But there's grace in that. There's grace in that. And as long as you are in a place where you allow the Holy Spirit to do what it needs to do in you, then your marriage will flow from that. And yeah, you're gonna have days where you don't want to have his last name. You don't. You like he left the cabinet open or didn't put the top back on the toothpaste or hung his towel somewhere it didn't need to be. But you're gonna have days like that where, you know, you come back and you tripping over my shoes or I didn't do. You're gonna have those days, but you need to decide pick your battles. Pick your battles.
A lot of young couples, communication is a difficult thing because they are learning. First of all, they have to learn each other's personality traits and And when they're talking, what they're really saying.
Yeah.
Because it could be misinterpreted, and that can, start a lot of disagreements. So they need to take time to understand, when I said this is what I meant. And talk about it versus arguing about it. Take the time to understand each other's love language or what you're trying to present.
I think the tone and the tenor of how it's presented has to always remain important as well. And I think we have to keep that in mind, is, think first, speak with, a level voice, don't raise your voice, and don't try to hurt your spouse, because it's not gonna be effective.
And talk, not text, because
Talk,
text
yeah.
can get
Again,
misinterpreted,
text, yeah,
especially
text.
in the heat of the moment.
Yeah,
It's
you text an
important.
argument,
Yeah.
wow, yeah, you'd be like, what do you say? I don't know. And don't send out emojis or. So,
But
yeah.
if they're having disagreements, I think the most important thing is to learn to understand what each other is saying.
I agree. And I think recognizing the one thing, that we're different, she's gonna have her way of communicating, I'm gonna have mine. We're gonna have to find a way where we can sit down in the middle, neutral, and kind of communicate.
And write it out.
Yeah,
Write
we've done
down,
that.
write
We've done
down
that.
the
Yeah.
differences,
We
and
write
write
down.
down
Yeah,
what's,
we've
what's
communicated.
on your heart.